guys, I'm back for another review, and this is of my 7th book of the year. And so we're just going to get straight into it because I'm really excited to speak about this book. It was my first middle grade book of the year, not my first middle grade book ever, but my first middle grade book of the year, and I think it's one of my favorite reads, to be honest. So yes, I'm very, very excited to get into this. So let's go. Okay, so my 7th book of the year was, drum roll please, I feel like my drum rolls are getting worse, but guys, you're really just going to have to stick with it until they get better. Okay? So my 7th book of the year was, yay! Okay, let's just, okay, it was Onyeka and the Academy of the Sun. And guys, talk about black girl magic, like beyond black girl magic. And as a black girl, I approve. It's magic. Ha! So, this book is literally about a young girl, a young British Nigerian girl, who finds out that her beautiful, luscious locks, which she has like been told her entire life is so hard to manage and is, impossible to tame. First of all, one, she's not fully normal, okay? She got superpowers. 2, her superpower is that hair that you guys kept saying was untamed, unmanageable. Okay, and yeah, I'm gonna put all this crick in my neck so I can shake my manageable here, my unmanageable. Pop. Sorry guys, I have attitude because I love that this book did this. I loved it so much. Because so many girls will have this experience or remember an experience like this when they were young, being told that, oh my goodness, your hair is so difficult to deal with. Your hair is so unmanageable. Oh, we need to soften this up. Or we need to do something to this so that we can make it more presentable, more manageable, more this, more that. To take that, that history of black girls' hair and to say, you know what, we're going to dismantle. We're going to break that crap up and we're going to show them that our hair is actually part of what makes us magical. And like, just so amazing. And honestly, I was in love. I was just, this is meant to be a kid's book, obviously, like a middle grade book, for someone younger. But I'm just like, you executed this book so amazing, Tola. Like, it's one of those books where you just have to say, I want to meet her because I want to have a discussion about, where did this inspiration come from? And I feel like it's going to be something like, I could relate to this. Obviously, we have the author's note in the back, but it'd just be really great to like pick her brain, and just have a chat with her, because I think she made an amazing book. So you know what? Thank you so much, Tola. This book was necessary and this book was so fun. So this book, yeah, like I said, it's about this young British Nigerian girl who finds out that her hair is her superpower, and then she has to go back to Nigeria because she gets this superpower from her dad's side of the family, but she only lives with her mom, and her mom doesn't speak about her dad, and she never knew why. And then now her mom never told her about her superpower or that she might have it, and now she's finding all of these things out like after like one incident, and this incident was like really like terrifying for her, and then all of a sudden her hair is like moving mad. And so like she finds all this out from her mom, and her mom is just like, you know what, you get this from your dad, and we're going to have to go to Nigeria so that I can try and find your dad. Like, she wasn't abandoned by her dad was missing, and so she's just like, I have to go and try and find your dad because he's the only one who would possibly help you to control this. And while we're in Nigeria, I'm going to place you in the care of someone who both your dad and I trusted. And so she goes to Nigeria. She's picked up in this like, hyper technical, like just like awesome, basically like Avengers skyrocket, like a Star Trek Avengers ship. And it's, it's really cool. She gets taken to the school for people like her, and what is so great about this book is like, it's feel like we're restructuring and retelling, but not too much. So obviously Nigeria gained independence not too long ago, literally just a few decades ago. And what they did with that part of the story, I think, was amazing. And so let's just get into it, okay? Nigeria was made independent a few decades ago. And, after independence, I should say, so many things changed and like so many things kind of went awry for the country of Nigeria. But Nigeria is a strong nation, and you know what? They're not going to give up. What I love about this book is that they took from the moment of independence, Nigeria, from the moment of independence in this book, they became a powerhouse in the world. They took their natural resources and they took advantage of it, and they made the best use of it. And so like they are literally who the world looks up to in this book. Like everyone is just like, oh my goodness, it'd be so good to go to Nigeria and see this like specific machine. Like it's amazing to see. I'm just like, because Nigeria is so rich in resources, and to see where a story is told from the point of view of, yes, the same independence happened in the same year, but from that point things were done differently. The leaders banded together, corruption was no more. Like people came together and they made Nigeria this powerful nation that everyone just had to respect, and look up to. So it's great to see that. And quite frankly, her mom takes her to this school, and then her mom like literally leaves her, and so there's this feeling of abandonment as well. And I think this book does so well with like how it addresses emotions. Like she is a young girl, but she has this feeling of betrayal because her mom kept the secret from her all these years. She's also afraid because like this new thing is happening to her, and every time she uses her powers she gets this adverse reaction. Consequences, guys, consequences of your actions. But I love a world where the magic system does come with some repercussions. Like it's not just, oh, you use magic and nothing comes out of it. There are consequences of your actions. And so yeah, she just experiences so many emotions, and it's so great to see like a young person, how they deal with their emotions. Or it's so good to like see this book like show that, what, we're human, and these kids are young, but they notice more than you think. They're smarter than you think, and they can handle emotions better than you think. So it's great to see that. It's great to see her make friends along the way. I think I've mentioned it before, but found family, that is a top tier trope to me. Like I don't think there's a trope that can beat that. Personally, that's what I believe. Like no trope can beat it. None whatsoever. And throughout this book, while she is learning to use her powers and learning to like figure out who she should be friends with, obviously having to be a bit discerning of who's actually a good person or not, and she does make mistakes along the way, but the good thing is that like she recovers. She recovers. Now, one thing about this book that I was just like, it's probably not my favorite part about this book, which is why I had to like dock it when I was doing ratings, is that the world building comes in slowly. Now, if you know me, I love world building, and I love fast-paced books. Like the book started slow. Like it started like, building the world, like introducing us to her. And I was just like, Onyeka, you're sweet, but I need something to happen. And like I said, that incident that revealed her powers to her, it did happen like, quite quickly into the book. But even after that, like everything else started to move a bit slowly. It did quicken up as we went along. But, the pace and even how they introduced like the world's history, like, oh, how did Nigeria become this? Or how did these kids with powers, how did they come to be? That was introduced a bit more, slowly than I would have liked. But all in all, it wasn't that big of a deal. I was just like, that's all right. It's a kid's book. And the book wasn't even that big. It was only 300 something pages. So honestly, the fact that they did it slowly wasn't that much of a faith, to me. But I guess it's because I was just like, as we were getting towards the end, I was just like, ooh, this is going to be a sequel. This is gonna have a sequel, because I'm just like, with the pace of the book and with so many lingering questions, so many questions are left, there is no way that this book is going to end here. Now I love that because it would be great to spend more time in this world, but at the same time I'm just like, how long am I gonna have to wait before I get answers, but you know what, that does make a good book, so I have to like give it a few more points for that as well, because I'm just like, you know what, for you to be able to capture me with a pace that I don't like, but because the story and the plot is good, for you to be able to make me want to come back for more, you won. Yeah, so I couldn't even fault them for it. I was just like, this is a smart move. You introduced a mystery, like several mysteries, like from the beginning, where is her father? And then we find out that her father's missing. And then we find out that, oh, there's a glitch with your powers. And then we find out that, oh, there are people coming after the school that she's, being housed in for something that we do not know. It's like, okay, mystery after mystery after mystery. And towards the end, some of these mysteries, I think all of them are technically revealed, but then they open the door to even more questions as well. And so now we're just like, you slick. What a slick book. But I loved it all the same. I love that. Now with this book, obviously it's middle grade, and so I guess I'm used to reading books and I guess picking up subtle hints beforehand. You know, even with adult books, I think that's why I love thrillers as well so much, because I love figuring out plot points and secrets before the book ends, because I'm just like, yes, I did it. Um, so the villain reveal, I think it was still good. I guessed it beforehand, but I think, yeah, because of the way my mind works, because I'm just naturally just nitpicking things. I feel like that's just something that I would have done. I feel like it's like the villain was still kept under wraps pretty well, and so was I liked it. I was just like, oh, this was good. This was good, especially because even though I was just like, this is who I believe the villain is, there were still some people who were being introduced that I'm just like, oh, okay, way to throw in a little curveball, because now I'm suspecting this person. I like it. I like how you're just trying to confuse me. I kept to my guns and I was right. But one thing I was just like, are we doing this? Which why I had to dock points again with the rating is the fact that I was just like, when the villain got revealed, the villain kind of divulged, you know, all plans, all motives. And this is like a younger book, so obviously, let's not give the kids a little a little brain ache or whatnot. I was like, did we have to do that? Did we have to do that? Like, could we not let them figure it out? Because I was just reading the book and I'm just like, so I'm just gonna tell them all the plans so that when they now thwart it, you have no one but yourself to blame. You told them everything you intend to do. Now, obviously, with villains, they always have the upper hand in situations like this. So I guess they feel like they have won, and so they feel like they have nothing to lose. But at the same time, we gotta stop doing that. Like, we gotta stop doing that. So I docked points a bit. But all in all, this was a good book, and like I said, the theme was amazing. Coming to a school with such like a diverse cast, and with all the characters who had like such different personalities, and her being able to make her found family with these differing personalities, and recognizing that first impressions aren't right. A very solid plot point in terms of like her making friends. Then yeah. And I think what I loved about this book, in terms of like, even though the villain divulged all the secrets at the end, and so you could think that, oh, this is kind of basic. It's really not. Like the mind games that are played in this book with the characters, because remember, they're kids, and the way that this book showed us through like the actions that happen in this book and through the history of this book, the way that they showed us that, you know what you raise a child with is so important, because that is really just going to frame their beliefs and their actions, and it's a little form of brainwashing. So really, what you put a child around and what you teach them has such an impact on who they are, and you know how they react to certain people, whether they want to or not. I was like, ooh, that was a sick twist. Like there's something that happens towards the end, like where the villain is revealed, that's kind of just like, oh yeah, okay, I love it. So I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but what I am going to say is that this book, I read this book in I think a day. The thing is, I started it, and then like I got to like 20 pages, and like I said, it was a bit of a slow start, so I put it on pause. But then like when I picked it up again, I finished it that day. So I'm telling you, get into this book. Like, this book was fun, and I think it would be so great for like young black girls, even young black boys, to read this, especially just to see that, you know what, guys, your hair is beautiful, it's powerful. You might come from a secret clan, you know, who has powers that are hidden, you know, you never know. But it's just also great to like see how the kids interact in this book. They're young, but like they face their own fair share of challenges and have their own like fair share of decisions to make that is difficult on them even at their age. So it was such a good book to read. I was just like, for a middle grade book target at young children, I was just like, there are little small complexities in it that I think are amazing for young kids to like be exposed to, and obviously made this book even like entertaining for me and engaging for me as an adult. So you know what, I love this book, and I gave it 4 stars. Love it so much. And I've already pre-ordered the second book because I need to see what happens. And I need to see them solve every single one of those mysteries, okay? And the sacrifices that were made, okay? I'm gonna need them to be sorted, okay? For those who read the book, you're gonna know what I mean, okay? Whew. I'm already I'm already getting heated. So it's time for me to go. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and tune in again for my next review of the year. It's going to be so fun because I've read some really, really good books and I'm really, really happy. But yeah, see you next time, guys. Mwah.